I feel like the biggest fraud who ever lived. Not because I got scammed, though I did, spectacularly, but because I built an entire online business teaching other people how to avoid getting scammed in business. And then I let my secretary drain £640,000 from my company accounts over 18 months. The irony isn't lost on me. Trust me, it keeps me awake at night. People assume I must be an idiot. That's fine. I've made peace with that assumption. But you have to understand something. I wasn't some retired pensioner who fell for a romance scam. I was running a successful digital marketing consultancy. I had employees in 4 countries. I understood contracts, escrow accounts, financial controls. I'd been audited by HMRC 3 times and came out clean every time. I knew what I was doing, or I thought I did. My name is Brett. I'm 59 years old. I've been divorced twice, both times amicably, both times expensive. I have 2 daughters in their 20s who think I'm an embarrassment, and they're probably right. Before Thailand, I lived in Manchester, ran my business from a serviced office in Spinningfields, and spent most evenings alone in a flat that cost £1,800 a month and felt like a storage unit with better lighting. I started the digital marketing business in 2009, right after the financial crisis when everyone suddenly needed to be online and no one knew how. I taught myself SEO, Google Ads, social media strategy, all the stuff that's basic knowledge now but was mysterious back then. Within 5 years, I had 23 clients, mostly SMEs in the Northwest, and I was pulling in £180,000 a year profit. Not spectacular, but solid. The problem was I hated it. I hated Manchester's grey skies. I hated the client dinners where everyone complained about their marriages and their mortgages. I hated the office politics, even though I was the boss. Most of all, I hated the feeling that I was just waiting for retirement, waiting for something to happen, waiting to feel alive again. I first visited Thailand in 2017. A mate from university, Graham, had retired to Hua Hin and kept sending me photos of beach sunsets with captions like, "Office view today." It looked like torture, the showing off kind, the kind that works. I booked 2 weeks in Bangkok in November, told myself it was a reconnaissance mission for potentially moving the business operations somewhere cheaper. The moment I stepped out of Suvarnabhumi Airport into that wall of humid heat, something shifted. I know how that sounds. Every expat says the same thing. Thailand changed me. I felt at home. All that spiritual tourist garbage. But it's true. The chaos, the noise, the smell of street food and exhaust fumes and jasmine, it woke something up. I stayed in a serviced apartment on Sukhumvit Soi, 24. Nothing fancy, but it had a desk and fast internet, which was all I needed. I spent mornings working UK hours, afternoons exploring, evenings at expat bars listening to other men's stories. Most of them were cautionary tales. Lost money, lost houses, lost years. I listened and thought, not me. I'm too careful for that. That's what everyone thinks. I met Chenita 3 days before I was supposed to fly home. I'd extended my stay twice already and was considering making it permanent. I needed to hire someone locally, a virtual assistant to handle time zone issues with clients, schedule social media posts during Asian hours, that kind of thing. I posted an ad on a Bangkok expats Facebook group. Professional VA wanted, English fluency essential, social media experience preferred. Chenita's application stood out immediately. Perfect English, previous experience managing social media for a hotel chain, degree in business administration from Assumption University. She included a video introduction, professional, articulate, none of the overly sweet persona that some Thai women put on for Farang employers. She looked like she could walk into any office in London and fit right in. I scheduled a video interview. She was brilliant, answered every question with specifics, not vague promises, understood the work, quoted me a salary of 40,000 baht per month, about £950 at the time, which seemed absurdly cheap for her skill level. When I asked why she wasn't working for a multinational, she said something that should have been my first warning but instead sealed the deal. "I'm tired of working for companies that don't value me," she said. "I want to work with someone who treats me as a partner, not just staff." I hired her on the spot. You have to understand, at that point I'd decided to move to Thailand permanently. My business was entirely online. My daughters barely spoke to me. My ex-wives had moved on. Manchester felt like a city I'd already left mentally. Why not make it official? I flew back to the UK, gave notice on my flat, told my clients I was relocating to Southeast Asia for operational efficiency, and started the process of setting up a Thai company structure so I could get a business visa. By March 2018, I was back in Bangkok, this time in a 2-bedroom condo in Thong Lo that I'd rented for 65,000 baht a month. 1 bedroom for sleeping, 1 for the office. Chenita started officially in April. For the first 3 months, she worked remotely from her apartment in On Nut. She was exceptional. Client reports delivered early. Social media engagement up 40%. She even spotted an accounting error in one of my quarterly VAT returns that would have cost me £3,000 in penalties. In July, I suggested she work from my condo a few days a week. It made sense, we were on endless video calls anyway, and the commute from On Nut was murder. She agreed immediately. Showed up that first Monday in professional office clothes, laptop bag over her shoulder, carrying a container of somtam that she'd made herself. I didn't know if you'd eaten, she said. Thai people don't like to eat alone. That's when it started. Not the theft that came later, but the blurring, the line between employer and something else. We fell into a routine. She'd arrive at 9, we'd work until 1, then have lunch together, sometimes food she'd brought, sometimes delivery from the Thai restaurant downstairs. She taught me about Thai culture, real stuff, not tourist brochure nonsense. The concept of krengjai, that feeling of not wanting to impose. The way Thai families work, with money flowing up to parents and sideways to siblings in need. She told me about her own family mother with diabetes, father dead from a motorcycle accident when she was 12, younger brother dropping out of university because they couldn't afford the fees. She never asked me for money, that's important. She never asked, but I offered. It started with her brother. September 2018, she came in one morning with red eyes. When I asked what was wrong, she said her brother owed 85,000 baht to some men, gambling debt, and they were threatening to hurt him. She'd been trying to scrape together the money but didn't have it. I transferred 85,000 baht to her account that afternoon, about £2,000. Didn't think twice about it. She cried and said she'd pay me back, and I said, don't be ridiculous. It's a gift. Family helps family. That phrase, family helps family, I don't even know where it came from. We weren't family. She was my employee. But somewhere in those 5 months, the categories had dissolved. By October, she was at the condo 5 days a week. By November, 6. She started staying later, ordering dinner, watching Netflix on the couch while I worked on client proposals. It felt domestic. It felt like companionship. It felt like the thing I'd been waiting for in Manchester without knowing what I was waiting for. In December, during the cool season, well, cool by Bangkok standards, which means 30 degrees instead of 35, we went to Khao Yai for a weekend. My idea. I framed it as a working retreat. We'd brainstorm strategy for 2019, but I booked 1 bungalow, not 2. She didn't object. We shared a bed that first night, and by the second night we weren't just sharing it. I was 53, she was 32. I know how that looks. I know what you're thinking. Sad old Farang, young Thai woman, tale as old as time, but it didn't feel like a transaction. She never asked for anything. She seemed happy. She laughed at my jokes. She held my hand in public. She introduced me to her friends as her partner, not her boyfriend, which felt more mature, more real. We talked about the future. I asked if the age gap bothered her. She said age is just a number. What matters is respect and shared goals. I asked what her goals were. She said security, stability, a chance to help her family without drowning herself. That should have been warning sign number 2, but I heard it as compatibility. We both valued financial security. We both understood business. We were aligned. On New Year's Eve 2018, at a rooftop bar in Asoke, I asked her to be my girlfriend officially. She said yes. We toasted with champagne that cost 4,000 baht a bottle, and I remember thinking this was the best investment I'd ever made. Not the champagne, the life. By February 2019, she'd fully moved into the condo, her clothes in the closet, her toiletries in the bathroom, her name on the utility bills as an authorized contact. It felt natural. It felt like progress. That's also when I made the decision that destroyed me. I added her as a co-director to my UK company. You have to understand the logic. It made perfect sense at the time. She was handling 70% of client communication. She was managing the social media accounts, the content calendar, the email campaigns. Clients loved her. She was responsive, professional, detail-oriented. Several had told me they preferred dealing with her over me. From a business continuity perspective, it was smart. If something happened to me, heart attack, accident, whatever, the company could keep operating. She'd have legal authority to manage accounts, pay suppliers, handle contracts. From a tax perspective, it was brilliant. My UK accountant explained that having a Thai director opened up possibilities for profit shifting that could save me £30,000 a year in tax. I could pay Chenita a director's salary, which was a legitimate business expense, and reduce my own taxable income. From a relationship perspective, it was a gesture of trust. I was telling her, I see you as a partner, not just an employee or girlfriend. I trust you with everything. She cried when I told her. Real tears, not Thai drama serial tears. She said no one had ever trusted her like this. Her ex-boyfriend, some Thai guy who'd worked in IT, had always treated her like she was stupid. Her previous bosses had never given her credit for her work. I was different, she said. I was special. We went to company's house online, filed the paperwork, paid the £15 fee. Chanida Srisai became a director of BT Digital Marketing Limited on the 12th of March 2019. I remember the date because it was also the day we got engaged. I hadn't planned to propose. But that evening, after we'd submitted the directorship paperwork, we were having dinner at a Japanese restaurant in M Quartier, and she said something that hit me sideways. I feel like I finally found my place, she said. Not just Thailand, not just Bangkok. Here, with you, this life we're building. I went to the bathroom, called a jewelry store I'd walked past 100 times in Siam Paragon, asked if they were still open. They were. I took a taxi there. Bought a ring, 1.2 carat diamond, white gold band, 180,000 baht, took a taxi back, and proposed in the restaurant. She said yes before I'd finished the question. We set a wedding date for November. She wanted a traditional Thai ceremony in her hometown in Khon Kaen province, followed by a small celebration in Bangkok for my expat friends. I agreed to everything. Sin sawed the bride price, she said, wasn't necessary, but I insisted. Her mother had raised her alone after her father died. I wanted to honor that. We settled on 400,000 baht plus gold jewelry, about £10,000 total. April through October 2019 is a blur now. We were busy. The business was growing. I'd taken on 6 new clients, all referred by existing clients, and revenue was up 40% year over year. Chanida was managing projects I didn't even know existed until they were completed. She'd created systems, templates, automation sequences. The business was running smoother than it ever had. She also took over the finances. Not because I asked her to, she offered. Said it made sense since she was a director anyway, and I was spending too much time on bookkeeping when I should be focusing on client acquisition and strategy. She set up a shared business account at Bangkok Bank, got us both debit cards, started handling supplier payments and salary transfers. I should have noticed the account balance dropping, but I didn't look. Why would I? The invoices were being paid, the clients were happy, the revenue was coming in. I trusted her. That phrase again. I trusted her. I trusted her when she said we needed to upgrade our software. Subscriptions cost an extra £400 a month but would improve efficiency. I trusted her when she said we should bring on a freelance graphic designer, 30,000 baht a month retainer. I trusted her when she said her brother needed another loan, this time 120,000 baht for a motorcycle so he could work as a Grab driver. I trusted her when she said her mother's diabetes medication wasn't covered by the government scheme and cost 35,000 baht a month. I trusted her when she said her sister's daughter needed private school tuition, 80,000 baht a semester. I trusted her when she said the condo building was raising maintenance fees by 40,000 baht a year and we needed to pay it immediately or face penalties. Every time, she showed me documents, invoices, bills, medical receipts, school fee schedules. Everything looked legitimate. I'd scan them briefly, say, okay, take care of it, and go back to whatever client proposal I was writing. The wedding in November was beautiful. I'll give her that. Her hometown village went all out. 3-day ceremony, monks chanting, procession through the streets, the whole thing. I wore traditional Thai clothing and felt ridiculous, but everyone was so welcoming I stopped caring. Her family treated me like royalty. Her mother kept crying and saying I was a good man for taking care of her daughter. The Bangkok celebration was smaller. 20 expats, mostly people I'd met through business networking events, plus Chenita's Bangkok friends. We rented a private room at a restaurant in Siloam, spent 3,000 pounds on food and drinks, and everyone toasted to our happiness. Graham flew up from Hua Hin, pulled me aside at one point, said, "You sure about this, mate? She seems great, but you're moving fast." I was annoyed. "She's my wife now," I said, "and my business partner. We're building something together." Graham shrugged. "Your life, your call. Just keep separate bank accounts, yeah? For your pension at least." I didn't keep separate accounts. Why would I? We were married. We were partners in every sense. Separation implied distrust. December 2019 was when I should have seen it. That's when the business bank account dropped below 50,000 pounds for the first time in 3 years. I noticed because a client payment bounced not enough funds to cover it and the bank sent me an alert. I asked Chanida about it. She said it was just timing. Several large supplier invoices had come due at once, nothing to worry about. She showed me a spreadsheet with expected incoming payments that would cover everything within 2 weeks. The spreadsheet looked professional, color-coded, formulas that calculated automatically. I believed it. The payments came in. The account went back up to 70,000 pounds. Crisis averted. Except it wasn't. January 2020. Account down to 35,000 pounds. February, down to 18,000 pounds. March, down to 9,000 pounds. I was starting to panic, but we were also dealing with COVID. Half my clients had paused their contracts. Revenue dropped 60% overnight. Everyone was in crisis mode. I assumed the account drop was related to that we were eating into reserves to cover fixed costs during the pandemic. Chenita suggested we take out a business loan to cover the gap. "Just temporary," she said, "until things stabilize." She handled the application some Thai bank I'd never heard of, business loan product specifically for SMEs with foreign directors. We got approved for 800,000 baht, about 20,000 pounds. The money hit the account in April. By June, it was gone. I asked where it went. She said payroll, software subscriptions, the freelance designer, outstanding invoices to suppliers. She showed me bank statements. Transactions I didn't recognize, but they had business-sounding descriptions. Marketing consultancy fee, platform licensing, content development services. I was too stressed about COVID to dig deeper. Clients were dropping left and right. I spent May and June doing free consultations, trying to keep people from canceling, offering discounts just to maintain relationships. I wasn't looking at the accounts. I was trying to save the business. By July, we'd stabilized. 3 clients came back. 2 new ones signed on. Revenue was recovering, but the bank account stayed low, hovering around 12,000 pounds. I asked Chenita point blank, "Where is all the money going?" She got defensive. "You think I'm stealing from you?" I didn't say that. I just want to understand. I'm handling everything while you focus on clients. You think that's easy? You think managing all the operations, all the suppliers, all the freelancers is simple? I know it's not simple. I'm just asking. You're questioning me. After everything I've done, after I saved this business during COVID, "We fought for 2 hours," she cried. I apologized. We didn't talk about money again for months. That was August 2020. The truth came out in February 2021. My UK accountant guy named Simon, been doing my books since 2010, emailed me asking for clarification on some transactions. Specifically 6 transfers, totaling £180,000 from the business account to a personal account I didn't recognize. Thai Bank, Bangkok Bank, account holder, Chanida Srisai. I stared at the email for probably 10 minutes. There had to be an explanation. Legitimate business expenses, loans I'd forgotten about. Something. I called Simon. What transactions are you talking about? He read them out. October 2019, £25,000. December 2019, £30,000. February 2020, £35,000. April 2020, £40,000. June 2020, £28,000. August 2020, £22,000. Those are director salary payments? I asked. That's what they're labeled as, Simon said. But you're the only director who's supposed to be drawing a salary. Did you authorize payments to Chenita beyond her regular 40,000 baht monthly? No. Then we have a problem. I hung up. Sat there. The ceiling fan was making this clicking noise. One of the blades was slightly bent, and it hit the housing on every rotation. Click, click, click. I'd been meaning to fix it for months. I opened my laptop, logged into the business bank account, started going through transactions month by month. The pattern was obvious once I was looking for it. Legitimate business expenses mixed with transfers to Chenita's personal account. The descriptions were vague enough to blend in operational costs, contractor payment, platform fee, but they all went to the same place, her account. I went back further. March 2019, right after she became a director, small transfers at first, £2,000, £3,000, £500, £5,000, easy to miss, easy to rationalize as loans or legitimate payments. Then they got bigger. By September 2019, she was moving £15,000 a month. By January 2020, £25,000 a month. I opened a spreadsheet. Funny how you default to spreadsheets in a crisis, like organizing numbers will make reality make sense, and started calculating. March 2019 to February 2021, 24 months. Total transferred, £447,000. I felt like I'd been punched in the chest. Couldn't breathe properly. The room was spinning. I went to the bathroom and threw up. When I came back out, Chanida was in the condo. She had a key, obviously. She was smiling, carrying bags from Villa Market. I bought salmon for dinner, she said. Your favorite. I looked at her. This woman I'd married. This woman I'd trusted with my business, my money, my future. We need to talk, I said. Her smile disappeared immediately. About what? About the £447,000 you've taken from the business account. She went pale, then red, then pale again. I can explain, she said. Please do. It's not what you think. What do I think? You think I stole from you, but I didn't. I borrowed, for my family. They needed help, and I was going to pay it back. £447,000. You were going to pay back £447,000. Not all at once, over time. When the business was doing better, you're a company director. You can't just borrow company money. That's theft. That's embezzlement. Don't use that word. What word should I use? She started crying. You don't understand. My mother was dying. My brother was in trouble. My sister's husband left her with 2 kids. I didn't have a choice. You had a choice. You could have asked me, would you have given me that much? Honest answer? No. Not £447,000, not even close. Maybe £20,000 over 2 years, if the stories were compelling. But nearly £500,000? No one would give that away freely, which is why she didn't ask. Where did the money go? I said. Specifically. She couldn't answer, just kept crying. I pushed harder. Show me your bank statements. Show me receipts. Show me proof you spent it on your family. I don't have to prove anything to you. You're my wife. You're my business partner. You absolutely have to prove something to me. This is why I didn't tell you. I knew you'd react like this. I knew you'd make it about control. Control. You've been systematically draining our business account for 2 years. Our business? It's your business. You remind me every time we disagree. I built this company. I brought you on. I made you a director. You treat me like I'm lucky to be here. Because you are lucky to be here. I gave you a job, a partnership, a marriage, everything. You gave me nothing. I earned everything. I'm the one managing the clients, doing the work. With my money, with my business infrastructure, with my... She slapped me, hard, across the face. We both froze. Then she grabbed her bag and walked out. Didn't take anything else, just her bag and her phone. She didn't come back that night, or the next night, or the next. I spent 3 days going through every transaction, every bank statement, every invoice. I tried to trace where the money went. Her Bangkok bank account showed transfers out to multiple accounts, her mother, her brother, her sister, several names I didn't recognize. But the amounts didn't match. 447,000 pounds should have been roughly 18 million baht. The outgoing transfers from her account totaled maybe 6 million baht. Where was the other 12 million? I hired a lawyer, British expat lawyer who'd been in Bangkok 15 years, specialized in business disputes. I showed him everything. Can I get the money back? I asked. No, he said. What do you mean no? She's a company director. She had legal authority to move money. Unless you can prove she moved it with criminal intent and not for legitimate business purposes, you can't claim theft. She moved 447,000 pounds to her personal account. How is that legitimate? Did she sign a contract saying director salaries were capped at a certain amount? No. Did you have financial controls in place? Dual signature requirements? Withdrawal limits? No. Then legally, she acted within her authority as a director. Morally, ethically, practically, yes, it's theft. But legally? No. I wanted to scream. What about divorce? I asked. Can I get assets back through divorce settlement? What assets? Everything's in her name or gone. The money's spent or hidden. You might get a judgment in your favor, but good luck enforcing it. I spent the next week trying to reach Chenita. Called her phone, went straight to voicemail. Messaged online, read receipts, showed she'd seen them, but no response. Went to her mother's house in Khon Kaen. Mother said she didn't know where Chenita was. Maybe Bangkok, maybe up north. Mind your own business, Farang. I checked social media. Her Facebook was still active. There was a photo from 3 days ago, her and another man, Thai guy, looked about 40, sitting at a restaurant in Chiang Mai. The caption was in Thai, but I put it through Google Translate. New chapter, new happiness. New chapter. With my money, I went back to the lawyer. I want to file criminal charges. Against your wife? Against the person who stole 447,000 pounds from me. He sighed. You can try. It'll take years. Thai police don't prioritize financial crimes, especially involving foreigners. Even if you win, she probably won't have any money left to seize. You'll spend another 50,000 pounds on legal fees for nothing. So I just let it go? I'm not saying that. I'm saying you need to be realistic about outcomes. I didn't file charges. I didn't have another 50,000 pounds to gamble with. The business account was down to 8,000 pounds. I'd stopped paying myself a salary months ago. I was living on savings, which were evaporating fast. I dissolved the company in May 2021, paid off the Thai bank loan with what was left, closed the bank accounts, ended the contracts with the remaining clients, told them I was retiring, didn't mention why, gave notice on the condo. I flew back to the UK in July, 59 years old, 12,000 pounds in my personal account. No business, no wife, no plan. I'm living in Birmingham now. Not Manchester, couldn't face going back there. I'm renting a studio flat in Digbeth for £700 a month. I do freelance consulting for former clients, enough to cover rent and groceries. I'm rebuilding, slowly, but I'll never get back to where I was. The momentum is gone. The capital is gone. The trust is gone. People ask me if I regret moving to Thailand. Honest answer? No. I regret trusting someone without verification. I regret mixing personal and professional. I regret believing that love and competence were the same thing. Thailand didn't do this to me. Chanida didn't even do this to me. Not entirely. I did this to myself. I made her a company director without contracts, without controls, without oversight. I gave her access to everything because I wanted to believe we were partners, equals, a team. I wanted the fairy tale, successful businessman finds love and partnership in exotic location, builds empire together, lives happily ever after. The fairy tale cost me £640,000. The business was worth about £450,000 when I dissolved it, but I'd also spent another £190,000 on the wedding, the sin sod, the family emergencies, the lifestyle upgrades, all of it gone. Here's what I learned. Trust is not a romantic gesture. Trust is a calculated risk that requires verification. You can love someone and still maintain financial boundaries. You can be generous without being stupid. I tell people this now when they ask for advice. Yes, I still do consulting. Ironically, on digital marketing risk management, I tell them, separate your personal and professional accounts, always. Dual signature requirements on all business accounts, always. Monthly financial reviews with a third party, always. Prenuptial agreements that specify financial expectations, always. They nod, they agree, then they do exactly what I did. Because when you're in it, when you're living it, when you're feeling loved and validated and like you've finally found your place in the world, all the rules feel like cynicism, all the controls feel like distrust, all the boundaries feel like barriers to happiness, and maybe they are. Maybe happiness requires blind trust. Maybe real partnership means vulnerability without protection. Or maybe that's just what we tell ourselves to justify the decisions we know are risky but make anyway because the alternative is loneliness. I don't know anymore. What I do know is this. I'm 59 years old, starting from zero, and I will never financially recover from trusting the wrong person. Not because she was Thai nationality has nothing to do with it. Not because she was younger age has nothing to do with it. Because I gave someone total access to my finances without verification, oversight, or accountability. That's the story. That's the warning. That's the lesson I paid £640,000 to learn. I hope it costs you less.